Hi, everyone. I'm Janessa Ponko. I am so sorry. I am 3 minutes late. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're here today and hope everyone is okay in New York. Let me know if you have any questions. I am also going to put the Q&A box open. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, I will look at them, and also by the end of the presentation, I'll probably have more time to answer them. Just let me know throughout the presentation. And how was everyone's weekend? It was a big weekend with the Super Bowl, and I come from a family of football, but I definitely was there more for the food than anything else. And what I did for the Super Bowl was I made some appetizers. Like, I think my go-to has been these jalapeno bacon popper bites. So it's like cream cheese with bacon, jalapenos in it, and we put it in like Tostito cups. Also, I'm just gonna wait like another minute also for people to come in. Just there might be some last minute stragglers as well, but if you have any questions, do let me know in the Q&A box as well. And if you had any food in during the Super Bowl, feel free to share in the Q&A box as well. So I did the bacon jalapeno poppers, and then for dessert, I did like an olive oil cake. So it had some citrus and lemon in it, and some, oh, we have Go Eagles. Yes, we're based in San Jose, so we're Niners, but the people in my party, we were for Jalen Hurts. If anyone else wants to shout out their team or the team that they were going for, feel free. Like I know I'm Eagles, but if you do like the Chiefs, if you were originally from like the Midwest that and you currently live in New York, okay, we got the Bills. Thank you, thank you. And if there's anyone else like to shout out their team, let me know. Or if you made like a special dish at during your Super Bowl party. Okay. I also had Tostitos. Yeah, they're just so classic. It's just really easy to scoop. So Myra made a classic chicken wing dip with Tostitos. That sounds delicious. I think for next year, I'm probably going to do like a buffalo dip with some celery. Okay, I see some nacho dip, a dip trio. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for sharing what you did over the weekend and your favorite team. So we have so many great organizations joining us from New York today. I just want to shout out all the organizations that are attending, and thank you for being so patient with us. We have another shout out to the Eagles as well. I'm seeing we have some boys and girls clubs, family centers, YMCAs, some legal and housing foundations, and schools joining us today. So thank you again. And I hope you all were able to use your Uber Eats and enjoy lunch while watching this. If you didn't get to use the code, it should be good until I think it's Friday, but I'll confirm. If you had any technical difficulties with the code, feel free to reach out to our team, and my contact information will be at the end of the presentation. And also at the end of the presentation, I'll be following up with the HRCI and Shroom credits. If you have any questions today, I'll do my best to check that Q&A box and get back to you as soon as I can, as these questions will be saved. And if you do want further information, feel free to respond to the email I'll be sending with the credits. And also, we're going to send a recording of the presentation you can share with your colleagues. So before we get started, just wanted to give a little intro about myself. My name is Janessa Ponko. I'm the Membership Development Representative here at 501c Services. I've been in sales since 2016, selling vendor booth space at a wedding fair for 3 years. I've set up meetings for tech startups during the pandemic. And then I've been starting to schedule appointments here with nonprofits at 501 since July 2023. I'm really excited to be part of a company that's been helping nonprofits save time and money that can go towards furthering their mission. We're located in San Jose, California. So we're in the heart of the Silicon Valley, and we're dedicated to helping nonprofits reduce unemployment expenses across the nation. And thank you again for joining to learn more about our cost-effective strategies and managing unemployment in your state. Also, just in the pictures, the team that's bowling is of me and our marketing and sales members. So my manager, Heidi, she was going to join today, but unfortunately she wasn't able to make it. She's in the middle, and she'll also be following up with you guys, and you may be meeting with her in the future. And on the right is Evan. He's our marketing guy, and you'll be seeing a lot of his content throughout various emails and campaigns. So we're going to provide a broad overview on how unemployment insurance works. We're also going to provide alternatives for 501c nonprofits when it comes to unemployment, how reimbursing works, and we're also going to use some real life examples of nonprofits we've helped with our cost analysis, and finally provide more information on 501c services and how many of our New York nonprofits have benefited from our services. So first of all, just wanted to start off with a little history to put unemployment in perspective. Unemployment started in the US in the 1930s following the Great Depression and New Deal, where the federal government wanted to create a safety net for workers who lost their jobs through no fault of their own. From 1930 to 1972, 501c organizations didn't pay into unemployment benefits for separated employees. Although this saved nonprofits money from paying these taxes, employees that were laid off couldn't reap the benefits of having a safety net that for-profit companies had provided. Fast forward to 1972, the federal government changed the law under the Social Security Act to where nonprofits must pay into unemployment, but were provided different options in how they pay so that the tax wouldn't be seen as a unnecessary expense for them. Unemployment is overseen on the federal level. However, each state gets to manage their own programs however they choose. So throughout the US, you can see different taxable wage bases, tax rates, benefit amounts. But today we're just going to cover information here in New York. When it comes to management, unemployment rates can be adjusted annually and are adjusted by experience. For instance, if you have a year or two of bad claims, your tax rate will increase. And then most states, including New York, run as a risk pool. So what you put in doesn't necessarily equate to what you get out. We're seeing that a lot of nonprofits are putting more money into that pool than what they're actually getting out. And these total tax liabilities by employers are often greater than the claims paid with reserves used in times of recession. The total tax liability is calculated by multiplying the taxable wage base and your employer tax rate. So take a guess on what a single claim can cost in New York. I'm gonna read some guesses. If anyone wants to shout out any guesses in the Q&A box. So I'm seeing 11,000. I'm seeing 1,200. Okay, we got 100,000, 25,000, 14,000, and then I got 13,104, 13,100, 7,000, 13,104. I think we're on to something. I'll read two more guesses. I got 9,000, 700,000. So the answer is The two people got it right, 13,104. So that is the maximum amount of what a single person can claim on unemployment in New York. And just as a caveat, this is what an employers charge for employee benefits by the state. Those extended benefits you saw in the recession and extra COVID payments were covered by the federal government. The maximum weekly benefit amount in New York is $504. And then when we multiply that number by 26, the maximum number of benefit weeks is how we get that $13,104 for the maximum of what a single person can claim on unemployment. The federal government sets the wage base at a minimum of $7,000, and there's no maximum. In 2025, New York's taxable wage base is set at $12,800. So that means for the first $12,800 an employee earns, your organization is taxed on that amount. So the majority of employers in New York may pay their taxes in the first quarter, but you might see that taxes paid after the first quarter may be for seasonal employees, new hires, or employees making less than that $12,800 in the first quarter. And then the minimum tax rate is at 2.1%, and the maximum tax rate is at 9.9%, and those are both set by the state. For several years now, the taxable wages in New York have been going up slightly, usually about $200 to $300 each year. Over the last 10 years, New York has increased taxable wages so in 2015, it was $10,500 to $12,800 currently for 2025. And that's an increase of over 20% per employee. Even if what you're doing to keep your experience rate low, or if you're doing what you can to keep your experience rating low, your SUI is still increasing due to this increase in taxable wages. The increase in taxable wages will increase your SUI even if your tax rate remains the same. So, for example, an organization with 50 employees that's paying 5% in SUI is going to pay $5,750 more in SUI in 2015 compared to 10 years ago. And again, that is over a 20% increase. And the last thing I want to know is the improper rate, which is at 25.09%. And this overpayment equates to over $2 billion in overpayments to former employees who are collecting unemployment in the past 3 years. This is information we get from the Department of Labor. And you can see New York is one of the many states that's greater than 13 at over 25%. This is really important to know, as we really want to encourage you to look over your claims and make sure that you're not overpaying for anybody's claims. Here at 501, we help organizations monitor this. And for the first 3 quarters of 2024, our team had received over $96,000 in credits in New York State from various overpayments via our claims management and internal audit process. If you are managing claims on your own, you want to make sure that you're properly charged for a former employee's weekly benefit amount. There are 3 different alternatives for unemployment. One is that you pay the state tax that we mentioned earlier with the tax rate that's set by the state in taxable wages. Another option is that you can self-insure, reimburse for your unemployment, where you just pay dollar per dollar for your unemployment claims. So you're basically only paying for the benefits issued. And then the last option is kind of a hybrid of both, where you buy insurance that offers the savings of reimbursing while also providing that safety net. Just to let you know, reimbursing is not for everyone. The qualifications that we look for considering reimbursing is that an organization must be a 501c3 nonprofit. It excludes religious institutions. We recommend a gross annual payroll of $1 million or more, because typically if your payroll is under $1 million, especially significantly less, what you're paying into the state tax pool is probably pretty minimal. and you might not see much significant savings opting out. However, there are some scenarios where you could see potential savings. So we'd be happy to look at your numbers, even if you're just slightly less than $1 million. And then we also look at a positive audit of the past 3 years. So that means in order for reimbursing to benefit you, we try to evaluate if what you paid each year in taxes exceeds what you pay in claims. Then we also want to make sure that there isn't any major disruption in funding for the next 24 months. So we do recommend to stay with SUI if you know you might be having anything from layoffs, reduction in workforce, losing funds, or closing programs where your tax rates may go up with experience. And then you'll probably want to wait once those claims decrease. What it means to reimburse is that your tax rate turns to 0%, and then the state will bill you only for the unemployment claims you receive over the quarter. It's a great way for nonprofits to save money and be a better steward of donor dollars. The process is seamless for separated employees. No matter how your employee is separated, they'll still go through the same process for EDD, where the state will determine their benefit amount based on their base period pay. And then the only change is how the quarterly bill is calculated. Instead of the state unemployment insurance tax, you're now only responsible for the charges your organization incurs. We work with 1,500 nonprofits, and several of them are in New York. So you're probably wondering what motivates them to reimburse. In most cases, reimbursing saves money. On average, savings can be anywhere from 20 to 40% compared to paying for SUI. And this is really the driver for most organizations to switch. Reimbursing eliminates any concern of changes in the state, such as tax hikes that you can't control, and you become a better steward of donor dollars as you just pay for your actual claims than into the state pool. Because unemployment is managed by the federal government big picture, reimbursing is allowed in all 50 states. That's with employers with over $1 million in payroll and at least 15 or more full-time employees. If you're on the borderline, we can still certainly talk, as sometimes there may be circumstances where we can consider reimbursing for your organization. And if you are smaller and reimbursing already, we can still consider you for our services and how we can help you reduce your risk. There are a couple different strategies for reimbursing. The first is to manage your own program. This can be a little risky with the highs and lows of unemployment, and you really need to make sure that you have budget for these claims and that your team is diligent with managing, auditing, protesting, and paying claims to reduce risk and prevent overpaying. Another option is to outsource, like using 501c services to help with the administrative work and managing the challenges that can come with unemployment claims. We also have a trust where you can put money aside. And then the third option is to purchase insurance. At 501, we do offer insurance programs that are a little more expensive than the trust and then offer different levels of protection. So I do want to talk about how SUI is calculated. And like I mentioned earlier, I'll show some real cost assessments we've done in the past. The taxable wage base is customized by the state. So in New York, the taxable wage base is $12,800. All employers in the state pay the same taxable wage base. It represents the first $12,800 of each employee's annual pay. There's no maximum and can increase or decrease by any amount each year. The tax rate is set annually by the state and is based on experience. To calculate the contribution amount, you multiply the taxable wage base by the tax rate. So for New York, it's 12,800 times the 2.1 to 9.9%. This amount means that if each employee makes over $12,800, a company is paying in between $268.8 to $1,267.2 per employee in unemployment. So in this first example of a human services nonprofit we work with, the taxable payroll was just shy of $1 million. tax rate of 4.7%, estimated claims only $200 per year. And in this case, we looked at a 3-year average of claims. So they were paying over $45,000 a year. Think of what you could do with an extra $45,000. The second example, the taxable payroll is around $700,000, tax rate 3.38%, estimated annual claims around $5,900, estimated unemployment taxes were around $24,000. So they overpaid $18,000. Here is a sample of a New York tax rate notice that gives us some of the information we need to do a free cost analysis for your organization. So in the top highlighted portion on the right is the tax rate. And then there's a reemployment service fund that you add together with that tax rate. Line item 1 is the account balance of your organization. And as you can see in this example, they overpaid around $55,000 throughout their lifetime in taxes compared to benefits. And then line item 1A is what you paid in SUI the previous year. 1B is what you paid in benefits. So in this example, the organization had an overpayment of around $16,000 this year. So at the end of the year, their account balance went from around $50,000 to around $65,000. And with looking at these numbers, it may be more beneficial for this organization to switch from paying SUI to reimbursing, where the tax rate would go to 0%. They would only pay for their claims and they could see potential savings. Also, there's no need for you to understand each line. We'd be happy to look at your form and go over those numbers with you. And a little bit more about 501c services. We were founded in 1982 by former UCP executive John Huckstad. He was looking for ways to save money for his organization. So he came up with the idea of starting a trust. He created the first kind of grantor trust, the Joint Unemployment Compensation Trust, that eventually became 501c Services, 501c Agencies Trust. We started at about 25 members here in San Jose and have now grown to helping over 3,000 nonprofits in various ways. In 2016, John sold the company back to his employees, so we're now 100% employee owned. From the receptionist to the CEO, every member is committed to our company and serving our members. Our services are valued tremendously by our members, with our company having over a 98% retention rate. And here are a couple of testimonials our members have shared, and you can go back to these later as I'll send the slides after the presentation. This is a clip from our 40th anniversary celebration a few years ago that includes testimonials from Anika Lund and Mike Hoffman from Start Early, Mary Sue and Michael Eady from CISC, Sandy Leota and Chris Marshall of Baltimore Center Stage, and Phyllis Austin and Jason Penniger from Boys and Girls Clubs of America.
What makes me passionate about working for a non-for-profit organization is because I knew I always wanted to work for a mission-driven organization.
Our mission is to work with immigrant communities so that they can achieve the American dream.
501 helps focus our service to the community by giving us more time.
501 helps us focus on serving our communities by providing services directly to our HR professionals.
The biggest benefit for working with 501 is really the transparency and ability to forecast our costs when it comes to our unemployment benefits.
They also keep our cash flow steady through claims that are sound and take a lot of the admin burden off of us so we can just stay on autopilot.
We're very grateful for all the support you
My apologies.
provided over the last 4 decades, and we wish you continued success in the future.
Congratulations, 501, on your 40th anniversary. It's been a pleasure serving with you for the last 24 years.
And like I said earlier, we work with several New York nonprofits, and here's a quick snapshot of these members. And like you heard them say in the video you just watched, our members appreciate how we save them time and relieve some administrative burdens. The first way we help nonprofits is through our claims management. Our team has handled over 1,000 claims in New York last year. We'll help you audit and protest claims. So we offer unlimited access to hearing reps, and our team has an 86.33% protest win rate in New York. And you'll have a dedicated claims manager once you become a member of the trust. And all your claims will come through an online portal where you'll be notified when a claim has been filed. You can go into the portal to respond to these questions. And if in any case you go on PTO and forget to delegate unemployment tasks, it shouldn't be a problem for when a claim isn't responded to in several days. It gets escalated and handled. So a big part of our claims management is that our team doesn't want to see you or your organization overpay or get hit by those New York error rates. So we can audit those charges for you or prevent you from paying a claim when someone gets terminated. We want to make sure that you're managing these claims and have enough support to do so. Our HR services include 3 components. We offer access to unlimited HR consultations. We're a small dedicated team that can answer any of your HR related questions. So if you have an ongoing issue, you can develop rapport with a person who can support you and manage any of your HR questions. Our HR services have trainings throughout the year that are HRCI and SHRM certified. And there's also an online knowledge library with our HR services. With the $504 maximum weekly benefits here in New York, our goal is to help you keep that cost as low as possible. If you're ever laying someone off, our reemployment tool lets you offer packages which can range from online coaching, interview techniques, and resume writing. It's never fun to let someone go, but at least you can give them the safety net and resources to help them secure a new job faster, which in return can help save your organization more money. The protection part is the insurance part of our program. Most of our members take our stop loss protection that helps members during catastrophic claims. Other than catastrophic claims, for managing the highs and lows of unemployment, we have the trust account. This is a reserve account held in the trust owned by our organization, where we can help you manage those possible unexpected number of claims. So I hope this sparked your interest, and maybe some of you may want to manage your unemployment through us as a reimbursing employer. If you wanted to look into potential savings, what I would need from you is your 941s or estimated payroll from 2023 to 2024 as a reimburser. And if you are paying SUI, ideally, we would like to look at the last 3 years of tax rate notices. If you're only able to locate your 2025 tax rate notice, don't worry, we can also look at that as well. So I'm looking in the Q&A box. I don't have any current questions. I did see someone who didn't get their Uber Eats code. I will get that to you shortly and work with my team on getting a code and let you guys know. I do believe it might be Friday that it might be good to use, or either Thursday tomorrow, but I'll get back to you guys on that. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to put in the Q&A box. I'll probably wait one more minute. So I have a question. How does your services differ from Equifax with their UI? So I will also get more information on this with our team. Originally, we did have Equifax. We did switch over to a smaller company called Thomas and Company. And so they mainly help with our claims management. And they are a smaller company. And I do believe a lot of people enjoy that with them being smaller. And they have like a dedicated claims manager that'll help you with your unemployment claims. And for that question, I'll also have like another document that'll provide more information on TNC and the claims management company that we use. And how do we base our rates? So my manager Heidi will go more in depth with that. I know that it does have to do with like your payroll and the size of your organization. And when you schedule a meeting with Heidi, she can go over those numbers with you. And with doing the cost analysis, typically once we get the cost analysis, we do some, you would get results in a few days. We'd schedule like a follow-up meeting to go over like if you see potential savings, and then also our rates for working with us, if you wanted to reimburse with us as well. And we have a comment. New York does not give employers enough time to respond to claims, making it nearly impossible to protest a claim. New York does not give employers enough time to respond to claims, making it. I will talk to our team, see if we can help you get more time for protesting a claim. And I will have to look into that information. We do have a UI specialist, someone who knows like specific facts in New York, and I definitely want to get more information on that. And hopefully we can, if you ever have like any more claims, we do want to see if there's any resources or any way we can help you get more time. And we do have, with our services, we have access to hearing reps who maybe have more information on that type of issue. And so I got the comment, they give us 10 days from their date of letters to respond. Okay, let me verify that information for New York with our team, and I'll get back to you in a follow-up email. And then for people who are interested in learning more about our services, how much it would cost to work with us, in the follow-up email, I will be attaching a cost assessment form, and then my contact information will also be on there. If you have any questions and you want to schedule a meeting, Heidi will be the one conducting the introductory meeting. She'll go over some of the services and also pricing if you're interested. So another question, what are your rates for helping an organization do an analysis to check for overpayment? So the rates, again, for just working with our company, that includes the claims management and all the services that I mentioned earlier. So claims management, HR services, that is based on your payroll and the size of your organization. There's a specific calculation. Heidi will again go over your like specific pricing based on your organization through the proposal, and how we will start with like getting that pricing is doing the cost analysis first. So where we can get the size of your organization, and then we'll schedule the meeting to go over those numbers with you. If we already use a trust for our reimbursement services, is the transfer easy? So if you already have a trust, I will get back to you on that answer. I'm not sure if we would transfer your like amount to our current trust, or we would just keep your trust separate and then include it with the trust. That I will have to get back to you on our team. Because if you already have a trust, we have a trust already with 501c services, and I do want to get you the most accurate information. So I will send this over to Heidi and she'll explain more about the trust portion in the meeting. So another question, why are some claims approved when a staff resigns? So unfortunately, sometimes when someone gets terminated, the claim might be approved, and I don't have like the specific answers for that. I would recommend working with someone like us who can help you protest those claims. And I believe the best thing to prevent someone from getting unemployment is documentation. We've done several seminars recently, and I know like just showing when you have to respond to the claim, providing that proof of evidence. Like from what I've heard in like the past, documentation is key because at times, sometimes the person who quits, they win and they get the unemployment. And we do have like other webinars in the future that can go over like what it means to get unemployment, who does qualify for unemployment, and then how you could also prevent people from pay or getting the unemployment. So be on the lookout for those webinars. We do have our UI experts that can give you more information, and I'll also respond in a follow-up email to this question as well to provide more info. So we have another one. We are already doing self-insured and we're over $1 million in payroll. So they're wondering if it would be worth it to join the trust or stay self-insured for our size. And for the trust, it's for all of our members that sign up with us. It's pretty much like a fund to use in case you have that like claim that comes in. So we let you know like a certain amount to save each month. You're pretty much putting it in this account, and it doesn't just sit there. I know there's like investment returns with this account, but it is like a rainy day fund just for your account. This doesn't go to any other organizations. This is money you'll use in case you do get a claim in the future. And for seeing if you want to join the trust or stay self-insured, I would recommend having a free cost analysis with us to see if it is a good fit to or to join our services. And I will also send more information to your in the follow-up email just to help you see if you want to like just look over anything with our free cost analysis, like see where your numbers are at and see if we might be a good fit to use. With joining us, it would be helpful to have someone like help you prevent for overpayments, make sure that all of your claims are being looked at and you aren't looking at any or overlooking any numbers, and to help you just overall relieve that administrative burden so you can focus on other parts of your mission. So I have one more minute. If anyone else is typing a question, feel free, put it in the Q&A box. It will be saved. I will log out in 1 minute. Or if you want to wait for my follow-up email in a few hours, so it'll have the copy of the slides and it'll have a New York cost assessment. So you would fill out that information, send it back to us. We'll provide results in a few days. And then my contact info will also be on there as well, and the HRCI and SHRM credits. And thank you again for joining us. I really appreciate all the questions. And I hope you guys had a great time. Thank you for being very active in the Q&A box. And I'm so sorry again for the technical difficulties, but we had like such a great discussion and I can't wait to follow up with you guys. You had so many great questions today, and this is my contact information if you have any questions. Take care, everybody, and hope you have a great day.